One. Hello, folks. My name is Matt, and today I am joined with
Mike, two good pals, and
basically what this is something I came up with of doing something a little bit different. For those who watch my channel, you know that previously I kind of did this with the Dark Knight Rises, in which I did much more calmer, sort of. We're not fans of this movie, but at the same time, we sort of want to understand what the whole deal is. So this is much more sort of a more intelligent, calmer, no funny voices type of way. So we're actually doing a commentary on this film, explaining our thoughts and feelings on this film, why we feel it's overhyped, or why we feel it missed the boat. And
mhm.
uh, for those who out there who happen to own a copy of the film, or you have the film of some other way, some other fashion,
We don't care which way. You could have bootlegged it for all we know.
we don't know that.
That
So basically, we're just stopped at pretty much the 1 second mark before the 20th Century Fox Lotus comes up, and we will be talking throughout this film and discussing it, discussing the film of Prometheus, Ridley Scott's big return to science fiction, as well as point out stuff that we have problems with and why we dislike the film so much.
try our best not to go, into a rant. But there are some things in this that are just, they're so stupid.
So for those watching, for if you have your DVD or your whatever Blu-ray or something else, feel free to, when I say one, you can let go. On three, two, one, play. And right
Ah,
now you should be having the 20th Century Fox logo,
yep,
which is blue tinted for this reason,
yeah.
which I guess is
I guess
supposed to invoke some type of feel about the film coming up, cold,
dark.
distant,
Is it dark? I guess.
maybe cold, maybe distant, I'm not sure. Of course, this is a film that many people mention. It's not a prequel. It is a prequel. Um, right off the bat, I want to give a good shout out to Mr. Tony Scott as we watch his logo, really free, or I should say Scott-free production. That was a logo saw in front of a lot of Tony Scott films. Is very much missed. Um, of course, here we have the opening.
2001 is.
Hmm?
It looks like 2001. Like,
Now, for people mention that is this a prequel or not? Well, the definition of a prequel is a word whose story precedes that of a previous film, and it focuses on events that occurred before the original. This is what this film does. That's why I say it's a prequel.
I agree with him, and it is absolutely a prequel. I don't understand why it's okay if you think that way, that you think it's not a prequel, but I don't understand. I just have to get it that way.
And yeah,
Right. Beautiful shots, photography here, the landscape. Um, I don't like the score. I think it's inappropriate. It just doesn't sound right for.
do you think this score would fit in a different film?
I think so. I mean, like a fantasy or a film that's not as serious. It just seems really light and airy.
Hmm.
A film that's distant.
Now, this score was actually done by Mark Streitenfeld, who had worked with Ridley Scott on American Gangster, Body of Lies, Robin Hood. He even did The Gray, which, to be
Yeah.
honest, the only thing I liked in The Gray, music-wise, was from another film called Ink.
I swear the score sounds like something I heard in Galaxy Quest.
Now, yeah, I mean, I don't mind this piece of the score, but for the film is trying to be, it's like the rest of the film. Is it trying to be a science fiction film or is it trying to be a horror film? It doesn't
Yeah.
really have a balance, I think, that works. The,
Now you have the director, Ridley Scott.
and we see a spaceship forming above, and I will admit, this film is one thing. It's beautiful to
It's
look at.
really impressive. That's not a problem. I don't have a problem with the special effects. are good.
It's a good-looking film. I can't take that away. It's just the rest of it, don't
I think
care
it's
about.
I really think the writing is its biggest flaw.
And this is where we get, as we find the engineer. Apparently, this is maybe the beginning of time or beginning of Earth or however you want to call it.
I think it's like the beginning of life on Earth. Like this is Earth. I don't really know.
And he's going to be drinking this black liquid, this albino guy, albino
Hmm.
alien, and he's going to dissolve, sort of like a sacrifice
Yeah, he's
to.
gonna sacrifice himself to create life, I guess. And if that is the way that we, man, how life is created on Earth, that's pretty uninteresting and kind of sad, kind of pathetic. Oh, life was only created on Earth because some alien sacrificed himself. And
Now, the writing, it was done by two writers, John Spates, who had done The Darkest Hour. He's worked on the reboot of The Mummy. And we also have Damon Lindelof, who
lost.
mostly big-time Lost writer. He also worked on Nash Bridges, Cowboys and Aliens, the upcoming Star Trek 2, at least bits of it. Uh, See, this is where I have problems right off the bat, where I just don't see why this story was interesting, let alone part of the alien mythos.
Exactly. I mean, why, why we had the shot in the beginning of this alien sacrificing himself and the DNA? I,
Well, it shows that where life is created, and then thus where apparently our main protagonists are going to go find their creation, and this is how we were created, and supposedly this leads to that scene where we're supposedly 100%
yeah.
clear.
I guess it wouldn't have as much of a problem with the opening and how sophisticated and intelligent it is.
But
If
then
the whole
later on, he just,
the whole film was like that, I wouldn't have much of an issue with it.
and I'm
But
I'm not a fan of the design. It's albino, it's big, it's bald, and it's got pretty much black eyes. It's
yeah.
not really that interesting. It reminds me, if you took like James Arness from The Thing from Another World, or
Of these creatures that were in this film called Fantastic Planet, it was a French animated animated film, and it totally reminded me a lot of these aliens that were in that film as well.
except
Um,
it's like this almost looks the same, or said something with their ears or gills,
yeah,
or
yeah, they have gills. Yeah, they're gills and have red eyes, I think.
mhm. And here we have our scientists. We have supposed scientists, which I'll say we'll get into much many times. We have this actress Numi Rapace, who was Madame Sisma in Sherlock Holmes 2, probably most famous in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the original versions.
I thought she was in that. I actually liked her in that.
Sherlock
She
Holmes
was.
2, yeah. And this is where they get this really flimsy argument of we see paintings on the wall, and
Mm.
it just leads them to, well, we need to go there. That's what they want. Like, how does this go to they're the gods and we must go there?
I don't understand because we use in actual real life and history, with archaeology, they found paintings like this and sculptures like in chariots of the gods and Mayan temples and things like that. We haven't built a rocket and we'll try to go up into space yet to try to find them.
And
Um,
I know people will be like, well, there's a lot of things with the script or at least things a mystery for the sequel. I don't think that's an excuse.
that
Uh,
is not a because what if this movie didn't make enough money to warrant a sequel? Then
Alien, the original Alien left a mystery to it, but it did its job as well.
yeah, like Event Horizon, that left a mystery to it. Like it didn't really blatantly tell you that it was hell and Satan. It kind of you basically just had to figure it out for yourself.
Yes. And to me, it just seems like it was a film that I would guess originally was supposed to be a true prequel in that.
Yeah, power here over here. I guess this is a helmet that he uses to read her dreams, which is kind of a jerk move, to be honest.
Well, I was saying, um, forget what I was saying. Basically,
Talking
this
about,
sequence is David basically sort of leading up for Numa Rapace, seeing her childhood of why she believes in religion, talk to her father, sort of have this balance of faith and religion, and that's why she's doing this. They don't really do anything with this.
no.
Uh,
For some reason, it reminded me of that scene in Stargate where you have the little girl and she's with her father and they're on some expedition and they're having a moment or something. I don't know why. It just kind of reminded me of that. And this is where you get the "because I choose to believe it" line. Because her father says it, and so she believes the same thing her father did.
mm. I was saying before about the writing, like
Yeah.
at first I could see maybe this was supposed to be an actual prequel where it ended where Alien began, but maybe they difference of opinion, difference of Ridley Scott, forcing some ideas.
Studio, maybe. I kind of like this sort of opening with introducing David, the android, and the production design is really well done with the look of the ship and everything.
Mm.
It's interesting.
Well, I remember
I would,
reading something about how it wasn't really a studio thing. It was mainly Ridley Scott and the writers sort of wanting to get away from xenomorphs, and that's why instead of becoming, quote, more of an Alien prequel, it was going to be more of its, quote, its own story.
yeah.
Which then I'm like,
Then
why?
why don't you make a different, just make a sci-fi film, have no connection to Alien whatsoever, right?
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's not the main reason why this film we have a problem with, but it is part of it where it's trying to push itself into the alien mythos. But with the alien, when I watch the alien films, I'm not thinking about the creation of man and God by albino, bald dudes.
No.
And, you know, really Scott, I like some of his movies, but even those movies people mention, those are good, Alien and even Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But he's more of a DP than
I feel like hit or miss director, really,
well, the
to be
last
honest.
last couple of films he had done was Kingdom of Heaven,
Ugh.
American Gangster.
He did a lot of historical, I was really honestly looking forward to this film because it was Ridley Scott's return to sci-fi. And he had done nothing with these historical epics for years.
Like Robin Hood and even like Body of Lies, which with Russell Crowe.
And I was like, cool, he's coming back to sci-fi, and I thought he was one of the best sci-fi directors out there. And he made promises during, before this film came out, like it's going to scare the hell out of you, and all this, and there's a viral campaign, and the trailer was pretty good. It was interesting, and this opening is interesting. I I can't say it's not. I mean, it gets you kind of interested in what's going on with the film, and great visuals and some really good special effects.
And it looks
It's
like
what
they do
happens.
some practical, maybe some stuff on set for some of it.
It's what happens when they land on the planet is when it starts to fall apart for me. But
For
I'll
me,
get
it's
into.
when they have the meeting with I Choose to Believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a problem with that too, but I don't feel it really honestly gets as bad as it does when they finally land on the planet. Let's just say it really starts to get really dumb then.
And then you have Charlize Theron's character mentioned and introduced here. Which really, what does her character amount to? We find out she's the daughter of Wayland, and she dies.
She's supposed to be an intense character because you see her doing these push-ups and I guess.
And of course, this actor is Michael Fassbender, who doesn't really do anything for me. His character in this, it just
He's a good actor. I mean, he does a good performance, but it's not memorable, and it's not something I'm like, oh, I love this performance because he's just playing an unemotive robot. He has no emotions. He's not supposed to. He's a robot. So it's kind of hard to really be impressed by this performance.
I don't really
For
know
me,
why you needed him in there because it just made you think of John Hurt from Alien or Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner, and it doesn't measure up compared to those.
speaking of Blade Runner,
Ian Holm, I'm sorry, not John Hurt. Ian Holm from Alien.
I know, speaking
Ian
of
Holm.
Blade Runner, Ridley Scott was talking about how he's trying to make Alien connect with Blade Runner with this viral campaign extra. Well, no, it's like an extra on the DVD for Prometheus.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I don't care to see Blade Runner 2,
No.
um, especially after this. And for those wondering if you put down there, yes, I know it was Ian Holm and Alien, like I said before, in case you missed it. So, in case someone wants to be a wise ass about it.
Yeah.
And
Because you
these,
have characters, you have the typical badass guy over here, the redhead with the mohawk,
you have a
and he's
guy with a weird haircut, then you have a guy who seems kind of flimsy, flammy.
character involvement with these characters. None really.
No, nothing at all.
Maybe Naomi Rapace, it's her character. It's really about it.
And this is where,
And I don't
yeah,
performance. I'm sorry, folks. I just her performance just doesn't do it for me. Just
for who?
for me, Naomi Rapace.
Remember
Or
Pace?
yeah, just,
No, I don't.
her acting seems awkward to me. I don't know what it is. It's hard. I can't put my finger on it.
She just seems fake. She seems like fake reactions, fake. And then
And then what is this? Like this. Why have the score? Jerry Goldsmith score from Alien.
basically when Guy Pearce comes out with his badly done old makeup, you hear Jerry Goldsmith's music from the first Alien, that dun, 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 dun. Just very random. It doesn't fit with the film in that it's not like some grand entrance. It's not some, oh my God, this is such a great deep sequence to use
No,
that.
just trying to connect itself to the original film.
It almost seems like a random place, like let's find a random place to put it. Let's put it here.
Wayland Wayland wasn't even mentioned, maybe in passing in Alien, but
But even like you would think maybe they when they went to the planet itself, when they
they
landed
saw
on the planet, like when they're like,
maybe when you see that thing on the wall that kind of looks like an alien queen, maybe then
yeah, I think
they have
there
the
are better places for that piece of music than where they put it here.
makeup is just atrocious. I really can't give this a pass.
What?
Seriously. The makeup on Guy Pearce's makeup here.
Because I know in the viral that was probably a deleted scene they had a younger Guy Pearce, but that doesn't matter with the finished film. And you could have had an older person play the character that Guy Pearce
Well,
played.
they could do the makeup, but do better lighting, because I think the lighting is really what makes it really ineffective looking and really just looks so fake. I mean, Old Man Biff and Back to the Future Part 2 look better, you know.
And I thought Lance Emerson was Wayland,
Oh yeah, I thought so too.
but I guess they're not.
No,
I'm guessing AVP doesn't exist.
it's not part of the canon in this.
Okay.
And then this whole scene sort of reminds me of AVP in a way too.
Where you have people who are excavating and they find something that leads to alien life, dealing with ancient gods and people who worship these figures,
Yeah.
which leads them to their death. Reminds you a little bit of AVP in that moment.
It's a whole debriefing scene thing too.
And the whole deal with the mystery of where we came from, it's been handled before. It's not something original, folks. It's not something from Mission to Mars. Yes, I said that to 2001 Space Odyssey, to even the X-Files TV show,
Yeah.
which also had black oil.
Hmm.
It's something we've seen before.
And to act like it's some new big thing, like I mean, it's fine if there are people out there that think that this is, the big thing, or this existential questions about who created us and da 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 da. It isn't new, and I understand that, yes, it's hard to have anything new nowadays, especially when there's been so many thousands upon thousands of movies made. Um, that's why I can't really say it's original, because it really honestly isn't. But
And
I
then,
just felt
and this guy right
that
here, he asked
I thought,
something reasonable. He asked, "Do you have any way to back it up?" And then
yeah,
this reaction is, it's what I choose to believe. It's ridiculous.
it is.
It's like,
It is.
wow, that in any other film, that would be the person who dies.
Yep.
Is someone who acts that dumb or says something
Yeah.
that stupid.
But her dad, that's what her dad believed, Her dad believed that, so
I understand
she
that
on
for
with her
folks out
father's.
there. I understand that, but to believe that, oh yeah, aliens invite you just from a painting because you choose to believe, that's a very
It's
risky, pig-headed venture, in my opinion. That's
absurd. Really, it's absurd.
there's like no evidence. It could be a number of things. It could be aliens trip for fast food. I don't know. It could be
It could be a
anything.
warning. It could be a warning.
Yeah.
But it's only that one conclusion they come to, and then, all right, let's do it. She chooses to believe it, so we
And
believe.
then she's the only one pretty much who survives, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe she was right, or
Here's this med pod over here.
yeah, where basically Charlize Theron has this impressive room that has all this stuff in here. And yeah, the med pod, yes, I understand it's meant for Wayland,
Yeah.
and it's only used for men.
We can get into more on that later. Um, this impressive room is another thing about this film. I think it definitely it perfectly explains how I feel about this movie. It's beautiful. It looks nice, but it feels empty, soulless. Just nothing really to it. It's beautiful looking. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
shrug my shoulders at this kind of stuff. I'm like, it's beautiful production design, but
It's just I
uh,
don't. The reasoning behind this film, I mean, I understand the title deals with Greek mythology. A titan who defied the gods and gave humanity the gift of fire, and
mhm.
because of that, he was punished. I don't care. It doesn't need to be related to the alien films. Even on a film by itself, you don't see more problems in the script in which these people react in such a dumb matter that it's
It's
impossible to care about them.
yeah, it's a way that you would see people react in a dumb slasher movie.
But here, it's that, but they're pretending like they're sophisticated,
What aggravates
intelligent.
That's what aggravates me the most. This is a film that tries to be so smart, but at the same time,
It's
it's
so dumb.
so choose either one. I mean, you can't be smart and dumb. You can't be both a smart film and a dumb film at the same time.
Because when you do that, then you're not fun, and you just
No.
feel pretentious.
Yeah.
Again, this is good-looking
The effect
shots.
great.
It's a
I've seen some great pieces of artwork at places. that I, at museums and things like that. Does
It's a
I,
cinematographer's wet dream.
yeah, it doesn't mean I want it on my wall and display it proudly. Like I
But it had like a over $100 million budget. It should look
should
good.
look good.
And when you don't,
Idris Elba's accent is. I'm sorry, I might be one of the few people here, but I just thought his accent is just fake as all heck.
well, it
I
didn't
just
bother me. That was the least of the worries for me. It didn't bother me. Maybe because I like Idris Elba. He's been the
like
Losers
but it doesn't sound
and Thor and Takers.
it doesn't sound right. It just that's the least of this film's problems.
It never bothered me. What bothered me more was being linked to Alien, the problems with the script, the characters. And also, Guillermo del Toro wanted to do a film similar to this called At the Mountains of Madness.
H.P. Lovecraft, I think, was based on H.P. Lovecraft's work, right?
Yeah, and now he can't do it because some of the stuff is too similar to this film. And to be honest, I'd rather see what his film would have been.
I definitely agree with that, and I still don't see any reason why he shouldn't still be able to do it. So what if it has similar elements? It's based on a book. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft's a story he wrote that he wrote before David Lindelof came up with this story. So
And basically, this whole scene, for those who are not watching, is when they're landing on the planet, which is not the planet from Alien, but it looks similar at times.
LV-422 or something like that instead of 226.
Now,
I don't know the exact number.
maybe this is
Sorry.
to get into this being a prequel and the mystery behind the first film, in my opinion, sort of being ruined.
Spacecraft more advanced than the ones in Alien then.
Which
It's
one?
a, it's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
Look at this craft compared to the spacecrafts in Alien.
Well, some would
And
say that this was a $1 trillion ship that was built high tech, while in Alien it was more of a sort of truck driver in
yeah,
space and the cheap.
yeah,
So,
I could see that. That's okay.
but when they find these engineers, it's like, really? That's it?
Hmm.
When you see the first Alien again and you see that figure, H.R. Dieter design,
Space jockey, yeah.
the space jockey, that was a good sense of mystery. Like, I wonder what that is. That's cool.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
These books are obviously inspired by, there were like Fantastic Planet comics, like in the pulp comics that were in the
these
50s.
costumes, you mean? Or,
Yeah, these costumes are obviously inspired by, stuff like that.
hmm.
Um,
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
super familiar with them. Amazing Stories, I think, was one of the pulp comics names. They look good. They're good effect. Good production design. Good costume design here.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on the fact that the space jockeys, now you see them in the first film, and all in your head is going to be these pasty face, albino.
Well, I try not to think about that when I watch the first film. Again, I just try to
Because every time you see that, it's like, okay, that's what's.
out of my head. I'm like, no, no, no. They do not look like albinos underneath there. No,
Because
they look like biomechanical.
we're just not fans of the design, folks, and we think it's pretty weak, pretty
And
lame.
it's it really is. It's
Even the cover of a film called Future Kill would have looked
oh,
better.
poster for Future Kill definitely looks better.
Because you would think from H.R. Dieter and all the designs, these creatures would have been biomechanical,
Yeah,
which would relate to the xenomorph in a sort of way.
they would look kind of like some of the designs that you see in any of H.R. Giger's work. And then there's a video game called Dark Seed, and then you have H.R. Giger artwork, and I would think they would kind of look like that. But
And apparently they asked H.R. Dieter, but if so, I don't see anything that H.R. Dieter would have designed except maybe
yeah,
inside the ship, maybe? But as
yeah.
creature-wise,
But
especially the engineers, I can't. understand how HRD or whoever came up with that design. I just
Just what it is it's underwhelming. Like you build up this, you're wondering like, what do they look like? What are they? And that's another thing why I don't think they should have had the opening they had, because then it just gives away the look of the space jockeys right at the bat.
and at the end of the day, you didn't need to know about the space jockeys, in my opinion. It's not an interesting story to me personally. It's not an interesting venture. It's not an interesting. I never cared what they were. I was fine with the mystery. Mystery sometimes is better than
It
you don't
is.
have to explain everything to a minute detail.
It's like when you, it's like, for example, you have like the Halloween remake. It just explained everything to why Michael Myers was who he was, and it just lost the mystique and everything that made Michael Myers so scary. And here, the space jockey wasn't scary, but it definitely was, one of those, whoa, what the hell is that thing, type of
In the
thing.
first film,
In the first film, an alien. And, but here it's just like, oh, they're just kind of look like us, but they're like all buff and kind of look like, James Arness. It's just kind of, it's a letdown.
yeah, and it just really loses the mysterious notions of the first movie where they
Yeah.
could look like anything in your mind. And this sense of not knowing is creepier than being told A, B, and C reasons. Doesn't make it scary. It's like, okay, what's in the dark? We don't know. But you turn on the light and you see everything.
Yeah.
It's not scary anymore.
No.
And
Some of the scariest films, in my opinion, are films that they don't show you everything. It's more your imagination. Like Robert Wise's The Haunting. There you don't see any ghosts. You don't see any of that. It's left to your imagination to figure it, just to imagine what is there. What is bending the door in? What is it? What's behind that door?
in this sequence, he's throwing these balls in the
Yeah.
air to map
This
it.
is a good idea. I like this. I like the mapping thing. It's cool.
But then
You
it
know,
leads
it,
to something incredibly dumb.
yeah. And it seems like that's what it seems like. This film is like it has a pattern. We'll have some cool, interesting, thought-provoking, intelligence idea. Then we'll have something incredibly stupid. Then we'll just rinse and repeat.
And apparently, I read up and heard from people on the commentary that the writers, they didn't blatantly say it, but you could almost blame it on Ridley Scott. Because it's like really wanted his way and really pushed. And like someone was mentioning Ridley Scott in the first Alien, he had people behind his back looking. He had limited budget. But when you
Huh.
have no one saying no, kind of like George Lucas,
Yeah, George
you
Lucas,
kind of
yeah.
do stupid stuff. So,
But that's kind of like why is that the case? Like you would think these great directors
well,
would
think
be
about
able to
this.
control themselves.
John Carpenter does a low-budget film. It makes you think more outside the
Yeah,
box when you don't have everything. But when
yeah,
it's like, hey, let me throw money, maybe it'll fix it. It seems you care less about it.
yeah.
It's like, we got $100 million. Let's throw money in the air and see what sticks.
We have the scene where this guy is seeing what the toxins are in the air, and they're noticing that there's something generated in atmospheres. You can see by that line.
Hmm. And all he goes is that I'm
Just,
not wearing this anymore and just takes it off just like an idiot,
yeah,
a dummy.
his head should explode or something, or he gets sick later.
He does.
Does, but not from this.
And he's like, a stupid line, don't be a skeptic.
Yeah.
That's not even, that's not even, don't be,
Yeah.
that's not being a skeptic. That's being common
And now,
sense.
now everybody follows his lead. Everybody does it. Everybody follows the leader here. And I just don't see how that's realistically,
It's just,
right for somebody. This guy takes his helmet off, even though there might be pathogens or alien bacteria in the air.
I,
Well, whatever. We'll do it anyway, too, because he did it and he seemed all right.
I think
This
it's
had to,
just because, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who say this is critics, 4 out of 4 stars, 5 out of 5. There's no way this film could be any better. And you see stuff that are done in slasher
oh,
movies.
you
What,
know, there's,
what was that?
excuse my French, but I gotta say bullshit. With that 5 out of 5, nothing wrong. It's the most perfect movie ever. It's
So yeah, I would disagree with them as well.
it just really.
And also a lot of these other characters, you don't know anything about them. They're like cannon fodder. And then here's David, the android, you call him?
Yeah.
Just touching everything, and you don't ever understand his motives. Just, I'm working for Wayland and test on people randomly just to see what it does.
Or
And
random poke and touch stuff, like right here. He's just randomly touching and moving all these, stuff on this wall, and you know what might happen. Hey, he might have like unlocked something there.
I don't understand this. Oh, this whole thing of so many people, even on the alien documentaries, they're like, what were the space jockeys? Where did they come from? I never cared about that for a millisecond when I saw Alien. The dozens of times. That was never my big question.
I agree too. I was wondering more likely where the xenomorphs came from.
Yeah, the planet. Like, was there
So
a planet? Was there?
did they end up on the? I mean, you have a spaceship here. It had to come from somewhere because they're on
Well,
that.
that'll be in Prometheus too.
Oh, great.
Because they had
Well,
to
my
create a trilogy for this. Pretty much. A trilogy for this, where will you get your answers next time? And I'm sorry, that's not good enough.
no, it's not. You should have given me the answers first, and in one movie.
Or make
Because
a better script with better actors.
yeah, split into a trilogy. That's just a money grab. That's just a cash grab. No.
Or maybe the actors aren't bad, but the script is terrible. Maybe that's it.
I really think it's the script that is the biggest issue with this film. I really don't
Yeah.
think the acting is the biggest issue, except for Naomi Rapace, but Rapace, or however you
Well,
pronounce her name.
originally Charlize Theron was originally going to be that role, but
Even then, even with that, she has some bad lines to deliver. Uh, it's just it's such a disappointing movie to me. That's the whole thing.
and then this guy, he's getting scared. I'm like, you're on an alien planet. What did you expect?
Yeah.
It's just an alien dead body. Did you think you were going to find corn or beans or what?
Gonna find the beanstalk. I
It's a dead alien body. And then these are
on
people who later on
yeah.
are okay with a snake creature.
Worm.
And these are the same dumb people who put the balls with maps and map the place, but now they're going to get lost.
The technology too. I think the redhead guy.
Hmm.
I thought they said something created this technology to create the balls that map the whole place.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
what makes it even more dumb.
so why doesn't he get on his thing on his wrist and go, hey, where do I need to go? Call Idris Elba, the captain.
Because it's written by Damon Lindelof, who wrote Lost.
Well,
And
you have two writers, and then who knows what Ridley Scott did, and I blame all three of them, to be honest.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like you say, the script is poor. It's poor. And I've seen movies that get trashed to the 10th power that have better scripts than this.
Yeah. The pacing is just bad too. It just
And
moves.
here's where you get that good image of the space jockey, and then you get this image of this face.
It's an engineer, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
I would guess so.
Or they took it from Easter Island. I don't know.
But I'm sure it's like, well, it's just there for promotion posters.
I guess.
And here's where you get these canisters, which remind you of the Alien.
Yeah, they remind you of the eggs.
Where John Hurt, I'll get this right. John Hurt was the one who went in and You know,
Mhm.
some people would say, well, they do dumb stuff there, like John Hurt getting his face to the aid and getting his face.
Why? He's a trucker.
Hmm?
He's not a scientist.
What was that?
He's a trucker. He's not a scientist.
Right. Well,
What he,
these people know
yeah,
what they're getting into.
that's the thing,
They
yeah.
know there's aliens there. They know there's
John
something
Hurt
there.
didn't know that. Kane didn't know that. And this shot, it can be interpreted however you want. I think it's an alien.
Yep.
Looks like
You
it's
mean on the wall,
on the
like
wall.
a
It looks like an
picture?
alien or
And then
alien.
this guy, I swear, goes by green kryptonite,
Yeah, I know. It's kryptonite, right? That's what I thought when I
which
first
leads
saw
to
the
that
film.
comic book, Superman versus aliens. But like,
No,
yeah,
that's a better. That's a
this black oil is straight out of the X-Files, folks. And the
he,
X-Files dealt with black oil that turned into aliens of certain ways and shapes, and also
and
dealt
it looks
with what could have been the
all
origin of life.
moving and it's doing stuff, but we don't know why. We don't know why the wall is changing.
Well, some people would say, well, that's the mystery. But here, there's mystery and then there's BS. I think
Mm.
this lies in the realm of BS.
I can leave the wall changing thing. That can be up to imagination. Okay, there's other stuff that's yes
Like,
at this point.
Alien had mysteries, but they were actually mysteries worth to be mysterious.
The space jockey, I think, was one of them. It was just meant to be mysterious. It was never meant to. Oh,
And it's not really that interesting. It's not that
no. And that's
entertaining.
the thing.
It's not that
Like,
fun, and it's not that scary.
if it was more fun, if you had space jockeys and they're running around, attacking these people and all that kind of stuff, and they were like biomechanical and
Well, yeah, if they were biomechanical, and
like
you'd
that,
have a
maybe they
lot of
like
differences.
assimilate people or something and try to turn them into one of them or something. I don't know. Just anything because there's that kryptonite again, and you're 40 almost you're basically 40 minutes into the film, and there's nothing I can honestly say about it right now that is memorable right now.
Other than I think it looks pretty.
It looks pretty. So what? It doesn't leave a lasting impression on me at the moment.
And I guess this black oil infects those worms, and maybe one of those worms is the creature we see later. And then this whole storm thing makes me think of Mission to Mars. It does. This,
And folks, I like Mission to Mars more than this one. I did not like Mission to Mars to start off with when I first saw it. And I saw it again, and I like it a lot more. There's another shot of the head for some reason. And it also kind of reminded me of the Mummy, with the storm and everything.
yeah. I just really, because you think about Mission Mars is a group of people going to a planet, dealing with the origin of life by aliens. During that
Difference
trek, there's a storm.
in
There's a life-threatening storm.
how does this storm, if it has silica in it, how does it not puncture their suits? I don't
Well, I don't know. I
understand.
mean, their suits look pretty good when they get in, so I don't know.
I mean, look at
She
this.
flies
How does
off.
she seriously hurt? Seriously hurt from that?
She would be, yeah.
Like, how far did she get blown back? Like,
I know some would be like, we're nitpicking, but it's not fun. I mean,
it's not fun. If it was a fun movie and,
or it's not
you know,
entertaining, or it's not thought-provoking.
aliens,
It's not
I would
scary.
say. It's just the movie is so boring and dull and lifeless and
You don't care
really
about anybody.
to it.
Like,
And you don't care about
I don't
anybody.
care about Newman Rapace. I don't care about her character, who I think is dumb, who I think,
There's not enough character development for you to care about these characters.
and they say stupid things and they do stupid things, and
This guy, I mean, they're blowing, okay. Good effects. So what?
it is true that all their suits and stuff will probably be wrecked.
Look at all of this metal that is flying around.
And really, this whole thing really adds nothing to it. There's no
That
tension. There's
really,
no excitement. There's no fear.
it isn't filmed well enough to really add any kind of suspense. There's not even a score in the background to even add to the
Hmm.
anything.
It's,
It reminds me of Mission to Mars, and Mission to Mars I think is a better film than Prometheus because hey, I had characters I cared about.
And look at
And
all these people. I don't even know where half these people are.
it had character development in Mission to Mars.
Yeah, you had Tim Robbins. You had Gary
You know,
Sinise. What's funny is that Idris Elba's the captain. He doesn't realize people are missing until later. Like, shouldn't he be watching the monitors of people, that shows their life signs and stuff?
nobody's really that smart, I guess, in this on this.
Like now Idris Elba sees them, and why are they lost? Why are they still in there?
Because they didn't want to go out in the storm or they're scared. I
How
really
how
don't.
did they get lost?
I have no idea. It's an example of either bad writing or bad editing. I think it's bad writing, right? Because we didn't see them get lost. They're just stuck there now.
Just they're dead. They're going to be dead. They're dead, and to be put
It's
bluntly, they're fucked.
after movie cliches here.
Oh, yeah,
In the film.
another funny scene.
Oh, yeah, this sequence.
What we're going to do is we're just going to poke a disembodied head of an alien until it blows up. Kaboom! In your face.
It only blows up because it can't handle the atmosphere or something, or it just naturally blows
Well,
up. But
it's
it's not like that. It doesn't seem like that's what happens. And then these people are wearing gloves.
I put a mask over my face the entire time.
Yeah, they don't have their masks on. They're not. I don't see any
Like
gloves
what?
on them.
I don't
And
really
it's an
understand.
alien. Like it's a movie. You know, you're gonna get those people. It's a movie.
We know it's a movie. We don't like it. They can do their own commentary on why they love it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
what we're doing now. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Well,
And
he
then,
does have a glove,
all this is a helmet.
which is
All that,
very let down. Like,
and also it doesn't make any sense. There was a tube that went from that helmet all the way down to the looks like the chest. It looked like the helmet.
well, they do
I
have
don't
gloves.
space jockey.
They do
It's been
have
a while.
gloves.
It does look a little bit. Doesn't look exactly like the space jockey. The head of these space jockeys, it does not look exactly like the head in an Alien.
Really?
It just looked a little bit different to me. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because we didn't get a really big good glimpse at it. I don't know.
To me, it's just what's underneath is stupid.
It's just a dude. Oh, great. It's Channing Tatum. Woohoo.
And here they go
I,
again. They're just pumping whatever. They're just.
there's stuff coming out of it. The head, the eyes are opening.
It's almost
There,
like Bill Nye the Science Guy would do.
no,
Well,
Bill Nye is smarter than this. He wouldn't put an electrode in its head
well,
and
there you go. They should have had Bill Nye the Science Guy.
yeah.
Oh, now they put on the mask. And this guy's having a bad day. He just got woke up. And now he's going to go blow up Scanner style.
Yeah.
And no wonder the engineers are mad at humanity.
Yeah.
You guys are so stupid. You're such idiots. That's why you must die. That's the answer.
It exploded is because they put an electrode in its brain to try to bring it to life. Why would you want to bring a head to life? Like, what is it going to tell you? You don't understand the language.
That I feel funny. That
I don't
I
know.
feel like
That
my body is
sequence,
going.
that sequence was pointless and stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Uh,
add anything to the film. Wasn't scary, wasn't funny, didn't put any new knowledge, any stuff to the story. It's there.
I don't know why I keep thinking of Captain Power when I see him wearing this helmet.
Or kind of like that thing Luke wore
Yeah,
and for training.
or it's Daft Punk. Heck, if Daft Punk did the score for this, that might help the film. Because I'm not the biggest fan of Tron Legacy, but the score was really good.
It's just sometimes the score in this just doesn't fit with what's going on, or
There's no score. Like, what is this? This is just background noise. I wouldn't even consider this a score right now.
And this whole thing, I guess, is sort of getting Charlize Theron asking about Wayland, which you could tell. I mean, it's not going to be a surprise to anybody.
I
Oh,
don't buy she tries to be hard either. She's trying to be intense or
I
whatever.
buy
And
it. I like Charlize Theron. I think it would have been better if
I think
really,
the that she's given just
I think if Newman Rapace died and she had to become the lead,
yeah,
maybe it'd be more interesting.
yeah.
Her or Idris Elba. I think it would have been ballsy. Like, wow, Newman Rapace, we thought she was going to live and she died because she's an idiot.
And lines that she says just it's her acting isn't really the problem.
Oh,
Then they have this. Now, this just doesn't make any sense. This DNA result we're gonna get here. So
at the same time, we have uh, Michael Fassbender, David, messing with the canister for some reason.
we don't know why.
More than likely because Wayland said, hey, test it on someone, which makes no sense. Yeah, the DNA match.
100%.
Which doesn't make sense. It'd
It
be an
makes zero
exact
sense.
match.
It makes no sense. And I was like, oh, it's a movie. I don't buy. Okay, this movie's trying to be so intelligent, so thought provoking, so smart, and you're gonna have something like that. An alien DNA is 100% matched to us. We're like, well, an ape is really close. Yeah, apes are really close, but they're not 100% matches. If
And
it was a
yeah,
100% match, we would look like them, or they would look like us. We don't have green blood.
and again, like you mentioned also the music. The music here, like, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
like this is supposed to be scary, but yet you have this music and it's like, what tone is it trying to be? What's it trying to evoke? It's not scary or creepy. And then you have that bubblehead scene before where, no, if it was exact match, then they would exactly look like us.
Yeah.
Which
And then he has this poor guy. He's
he's drunk because he found aliens.
getting his sorrows away, and he's sad. Oh,
I didn't get to talk to him.
I didn't get to talk to them.
And then he's like, oh yeah, they're all gone. You looked like for one day. Who's to say
Yeah.
they're all gone? Maybe they're hiding. Maybe they're in hibernation. Maybe they're in like an alien those pods. Maybe they have their own pods. They're not going to be extinct when you look for one day and one little part of the world.
Yeah, that'd be like if we found like dinosaurs and just thought, oh, that's it. You know, that's
Like
they're
if we went to another planet
so
and we found like one little cave and like, no, we're not looking throughout the rest of the planet.
yeah.
Just this one little cave. Oh, we're done. And if I found dinosaurs of any sort, I'd be like, wow, I'm going to be famous.
Yeah, I'd be giving up on an archaeological dig. You just dig through one part of the
This guy's going to be famous no matter what. They found
and then
alien life.
yeah, well, whatever. I found some Mayan
But they
artifacts,
found
but
alien life. Why is he depressed?
yeah.
And then this guy's a jerk off by, well, you wouldn't understand and you're nothing to this David android.
Yeah.
Treat him like crap.
Yeah.
And then this is where using the,
That'd be a weird game of pool to play if all the balls are silver. Like, what is it, just silver pool? I guess.
is that vodka?
I guess.
I
I
don't know.
think
They put it in
maybe
the
it's
vodka, they trick him to drinking it.
maybe it's smart water. I don't
I don't
know.
know. For those wondering, I was referencing Leviathan. They put in the
Love
vodka, they trick him to drinking it.
Ugh, Leviathan is so much better than this film.
At least it knows what it is. It's fun, and it's got a people you like, in my opinion. Yep,
This film doesn't know really. When you think about it, the film doesn't know what it wants to be.
that's what I was
This
saying.
film.
Does it want to be a sci-fi film like 2001, but then it's trying to be a horror film, but it doesn't mix well.
No, it doesn't.
And then you have this dumb stuff. Again, there's the map. Idris Elba, I like him as an actor, but
I do
he's
too.
not given much of a script.
His character is, just about as dumb as everyone else because of the script that he's given.
Yeah.
It's not a mystery, folks, how dumb these people are. I'm sorry.
Because this guy will literally say, Idris Elba will say, there's something there, something coming, go investigate it. And then in a few minutes we'll be like, no, I'm sorry, it was just a glitch.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Uh-huh.
How? How?
That's not a mystery, Paul. That's just dumb dialogue.
And then he's like, no, there's something there. There's something moving. It's like, are you serious?
If you can see something moving, you can see where they are.
And then they wrote this character like he's not even worried.
Yeah.
He's not worried that there might be an alien presence there.
You're captain of the ship.
And then he's like, no, it just disappeared. It must be a glitch. And then he goes to bed
Yeah.
without worrying about it. This whole thing is just dumb.
What are you thinking? Like it's a deeper underlying conspiracy. The captain is, not letting them know, where they are or whatever, or how to get
That
out
has
because
no payoff.
and to kill them. I don't know.
And the character what has no payoff and
Yeah.
nothing to it.
Yeah.
Then it's horribly edited or horribly executed or poorly written.
Yeah. I think it's all three.
I mean, if you want to have deeper themes, they did it all the wrong ways.
Hmm.
It just makes it so that you have a character who is really dumb, doing really dumb things to other dumb people,
Hmm.
and then you have this unlikable, don't care romance where she's like, I can't produce life, and you don't
Hmm.
care about these people. There's no
No.
reason to. The actors are not charismatic in these roles because maybe the script.
I think it's the tone. It's the script. Definitely. It's the way the film looks so empty. There just doesn't seem a lot of life to it.
Yeah, it just, and I don't care for Numa Rapace.
I don't either.
I'm sorry, I don't even think it's just the script. I don't,
Time, yeah.
nothing
The
about
time that I
this.
saw her in the trailer and she was like bug-eyed, I was like, wow, that's not a very believable reaction there.
Just nothing about this actress interests me at all.
She looks off. Like her acting is just off. Like
I
off
don't
kilter.
really know why they cast her. I know it seems mean, folks, but I'm being honest. And then this whole thing of her cross, it leads to nothing. Where it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, I still believe, even though we just pretty much proved that aliens might have created us,
Yeah.
but I still believe. And I'm like, you bring it up and you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So what,
This guy,
sorry, go ahead.
the guy who's her, oh, it's okay. This guy who's her boyfriend,
Yeah.
he just, no, he's just a wooden board. Like there's nothing about his performance. And I'm like, oh, wow, this guy's particularly interesting or charismatic or someone I want to root for or care about. It's like Channing Tatum 2.0. It's like, yay.
Hmm. But you would think, yeah, and speaking of story-wise, you would think someone finds alien life, right? They doubt God. So you'd have an emotional scene like they take the cross, they look at it, they throw it
A
away,
little bit. Yeah.
or they toss it, or they do something.
Yeah.
You would think that's what it would go with, and it does nothing with
Yeah.
it.
No. And then this romance sex scene.
No chemistry, in my opinion, no chemistry at all. And this scene just doesn't lead to anywhere either, where Idris Elba and Charlize Theron are going to get
She
it on.
could have told where they were too. They're looking at this map, right?
Yeah,
They have heat signatures, I think, with the signals of where everybody is. But they're waiting for the storm to pass. Okay, I understand that.
yeah. They're waiting for the storm to pass to go for it.
But at least tell them like how to get out of the room they're in to some place that's, I guess, not as, I don't know. I guess the guy, it's them getting lost is the problem. And deciding to leave, because that's how they got lost. They're like, I'm out of here, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm
I'm
going back to
scared
the
of a
ship.
dead alien body, so
The
I'm
storm
going.
didn't start up yet when they decided to go out, right?
No, it hadn't started yet. No.
So that's what's stupid, because they decided to go out and go back to the ship, but they created the map when they still couldn't find their way out in time. Or the storm
Yeah.
hit.
And really, what's the point of the scene?
They set up some kind of romance that doesn't lead to anything, I guess.
Lisa nowhere. There's no payoff
It's padding.
to build character. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe for Charlize Theron to show her that she's not such a cold bitch.
Maybe I guess. But they
Yeah.
don't really do anything else with it, or there's no payoff to it, or it just doesn't really do anything with it.
No.
Then you get to, this is probably the dumbest scene in the movie.
Ugh.
The
One of the dumbest scenes I've seen on film in years, to be honest.
purely ridiculous. Yeah, this guy getting
Getting
high
high.
in his suit.
Mm-hmm.
Getting high in a suit in an alien
That's very professional behavior,
environment. That doesn't make any sense
too.
whatsoever.
If this was a parody, yeah.
And then you have this,
This is not a parody of sci-fi horror films. So this stupidity right here.
oh, okay, that's why, because they can't be there, so that's why for plot, that's why Idris Elba had to leave, so that they couldn't hear this.
Uh-huh.
But this doesn't make sense. This guy was scared of an alien dead body.
H.R. Giger might have done this.
It's not much of a design, at least in my
No,
opinion.
it really isn't.
And then he
Looks
wants to touch it. He wants,
like a snake with balls.
and then it does a violent hiss at him. And he still wants to do it. Like he wants to, it's just dumbfounding. Like it literally just hissed and he's like, it's okay, it's okay.
Hunter, right?
And he gets what he deserves.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
I don't have very many words for this scene because it's just so moronic in a film supposedly
And
so
this guy,
smart.
all this guy's doing is holding the light. He's not doing anything.
This isn't scary either because the guy's such a dumbass. So
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
character development with this character either. So all I know he's just hipster scientist dude.
Pretty much, yeah. This, you should tell that in a previous script, this would have been a facehugger.
Yeah.
That if it really was like a prequel to, like, this is a prequel to Alien, but if it took place right before the first one, that would have been probably just like a facehugger.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, that scene would be okay in a sci-fi horror parody.
Yeah.
We're parodying sci-fi horror films. Okay, all right. Ha ha. But this isn't a parody. So it isn't really funny. It's just aggravating.
And this is where you see like a little teeny tiny sort of worm like in his eye, like around his iris.
Pathetic jump scare. It is so pathetic.
And then he doesn't tell anybody about it. He doesn't tell anybody any looked
No,
at.
you have a jump scare. That's it. Really? Oh! Oh!
And then it's like David doing this, right?
Yeah.
What result would that be? Like, what's weird is that, I guess because it was a little bit, his body didn't dematerialize.
I think it might have purposely wanted, because I'm thinking of Wayland Enterprises here, and their obsession with aliens and for weapons, and da 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 da. Thinking that maybe the conspiracy thing, they knew about this sort of alien sort of thing.
Well, Wayland,
And,
we find out he wants eternal life.
yeah. But I'm thinking maybe also on the side, David infected the guy so then he could impregnate,
But he
I
doesn't
guess.
know what could happen.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Okay.
They wrote in the script that she can't give birth. So that right there is just
Meaning,
yeah,
what I mean, folks, is that he could infect this guy. This guy could do anything.
yeah.
He could immediately turn to an alien and knock his head off, like what happens later. He could trash the ship. He could trash everything and make the ship blow up, or it could have been like the first, like at the beginning of this film, his everything in his body dematerializes into a puddle
And
instead of turning into this zombie-like creature.
what's going to happen, right? That's another problem. Why does the black oil do something different with him, like turn him into some kind of alien zombie thing when
It's
the
because he
engineer,
only drank a little.
well, the engineers supposedly have 100% DNA match to
I
us.
mean, is it only because he just drank a teeny bit of it?
That's maybe, I guess.
While he drank like, I don't know, a
Yeah,
couple?
I guess so.
I guess. I mean, maybe. But would it then just do it slower?
What's that? Remember the guy who fell into the black ooze?
Yeah.
He shows up later, and he's not disintegrated. And that's a lot of black oil that he ingested or was
Yeah. Well, yeah,
of
on his face and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't.
But no disintegration, even though it's 100% DNA match. That's just one of the things I just.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
This movie asks questions, but they're not really good questions in my opinion. They're just
To me,
questions you're like, why?
it just, they're not intriguing questions to me. Like the whole point of this movie is not that interesting. You know, it's not that interesting. It's not that intriguing. I've seen it
It's not
done better in 2001 Space Odyssey. I've seen it done better in other stories.
I want to be entertained watching a movie. This does not entertain me. I'm bored out of my mind right now.
It's not fun. It's not scary. It's not intense. You don't care about a single person. Like
No.
for someone who's out there who wants to say, I love Noomi Rapace, feel free to explain to me what is it about her character that's great. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're mistaken.
You know,
I'm just asking a serious question.
what is so great about Michael Fassbender? Because you hear a lot of praise for his character in this, and
I don't get it. It's just him sort of looking and touching.
he's a robot. Everything he says has
So
no
was
emotion.
Ian Holm in Alien. So was
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen
But Lance Henriksen,
as
he had
Bishop.
he was unemotive most of the time, but he did have some emotions. I think he had like a motion chip or something, right? Because Bishop laughed a couple times, right?
Well, he smiled, yeah.
Yeah, and smiled.
And then he goes on this mission knowing he might be messed up, and he doesn't tell anybody, so he puts everybody at risk, this individual.
Same guy who took his helmet off. So I mean, really, expect anything else from this guy?
No, no. And then half these other people, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, you have like 4 more people, I don't know who they are at all. You knew every single person in Alien. You knew every single person in Aliens.
You know every single person in Leviathan.
Yeah.
Everybody in Leviathan you knew who they were.
And they were good actors, but you
Yeah.
liked those characters. You liked them. Even if it's not the most original, it still did what it did, I think, well, which is more I can say for this film.
If you don't have entertaining, if you don't have likable characters in a film like this, which is like a body count, one by one, down they go,
And then there were none, and
there were none.
10 Little Indians type of story.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
And if somebody's scared by this, go right ahead and be scared. But I don't know how anybody who is an experienced, who has watched a lot of horror films can be remotely scared by this film. I
Yeah,
don't know how
I have nothing
possible.
against people are, but there's nothing in this that I haven't.
I don't either.
I've seen this done better in dozens of films, even low budget creature features from the 80s.
That worm thing? That's like the worm thing in Leviathan. The eel creature.
Yeah, when the person's leg gets cut off and gets in the chest of Jesus,
Yeah, the Jesus, yeah.
the Jesus.
I thought that was more terrifying and more harrowing in that film because you can see he's screaming for help and
And
there's nothing.
again, you like the characters,
Yeah,
and it went at a better pace than this.
yeah.
And then this upcoming scene is like when you sort of get an idea what
Good job for hard-boiled eggs.
the stuff he press. Yeah, they do look like hard-boiled eggs. The buns he press.
Mm.
And then this is supposed to be like, oh, it's an intense scene where he finds out where they're going or maybe what their plan is or something, but you just don't care. I don't like the designs of these space jockeys. They're underwhelming to say the least, annoying to say the most,
Yeah.
pointless, and anytime I look at Alien, I don't see these stupid designs. That's not biomechanical. Maybe they're what they're wearing is, but even then it's like it's very him playing some damn flute type thing.
Yeah.
It's
I just think for guys like us, this is
not our movie,
not a movie.
I guess. I didn't.
But I like 2001 and I like 2010.
Again, what is
And
this music? This music is supposed to think like wonder and awe,
yeah, that's the problem I have
but
with the
then it's
score.
not. This is like something horrible is
Yeah.
coming that they're gonna
Yeah.
put something to Earth.
Yeah.
But like, look at the wonder and awe of this.
Oh, this visual effects, right?
This is not 2001: Space Odyssey. This where they're actually in peace. This is
Yeah. Or Mission to Mars. You know, when they walk in and see the solar system
yeah.
and
Well, here
you
it's
see
hey, look
it.
at our plan where we're gonna kill the Earth or kill the humans or
Well, I guess they don't have that score yet. I mean, they don't show the idea of killing
no,
humans.
not yet. But
I mean, I guess you can kind of give that kind of a pass with the score right now. But it just reminds me of Mission to Mars. Where, you know, they're walking in the solar system.
yeah,
But it was done better in Mission to Mars.
but it's just
But if they do keep this score going when you find out that they are going to Earth, then that's kind of lame.
this just doesn't amount to anything really.
It looks good. Yippee.
But I agree. I saw this exact scene in Mission to Mars. That's the thing, folks. I'm not impressed. I saw the exact scene in Mission to Mars.
Yeah.
You know, it's been done before, and it's not
I think it's because
wondrous and awe-inspiring. And
the biggest thing is the fact the film is just so empty, so lifeless. You don't have any characters you care about, and
it's boring.
it's
It's a
boring.
boring
There's
movie.
no pacing.
It's a
It's just,
very pretty, boring movie.
yeah.
That's probably the best thing to say about it. It's a very pretty, boring movie.
It doesn't have it's not without its merits. The effects are good. There you go.
Like I
Is
said,
that
it's very
Scorpion?
pretty, but it's a boring movie.
It's Scorpion,
And
right?
hmm?
It's Bane. Look at that face mask thing that the engineer's wearing.
Oh yeah. It just it, as a film itself, it's just a very boring, tedious. You don't care about a single character. You don't care about their dumb decision making. And as a related to Alien, I think it's even more insulting.
It's frustrating as a prequel Alien.
And it is, folks. It takes place before it. Look it up in the dictionary where a prequel is. You know, feel free.
Not the prequel after the end credit sequence. If you've seen the end credit sequence, the light bulb should have clicked on. That's all I'm saying. You can still choose to whatever you can choose to believe, whatever you want to choose to believe.
And in a way, this is again, this is sort of reminiscent of Alien, where,
Thing.
well, I mean, like when Ripley said, "No, you can't bring him in,"
I like this scene, but it's just not enough to save the film.
and I agree with Charlize Theron. He should not come in. It
Oh.
makes perfect sense, and yet they want to.
Who the hell would let?
I think Charlize Theron. This is why she's doing one of the only smart things someone does in this movie.
Yeah.
Her tear is actually like she goes to newer pace. You're insane.
How can anybody else like seriously with Kane's case? Okay, his wasn't as obvious as this. Look at it.
And the guy's actually saying do it. Like it makes sense. And like we're just going to paint her Charlize Theron as a bad guy. No, she's doing the right thing. And it's supposed to be like this emotional scene, but we don't care about this guy. I don't care that he died. He tried to get ran over by a reindeer. I don't care.
If it was Peter Weller in Leviathan, it was Beck, I would, I'd be like, oh my God, right? I would really honestly feel something for that scene.
You know, if there was Yaphet Kotto in Alien or
Yeah.
Michael Biehn in Aliens, you know, Hicks or Hudson.
Die in Alien 3, but
When Hudson got in Aliens,
we don't even see Michael Biehn die or how he dies in Alien 3. And I felt more emotions in that, just a picture.
well, I was pissed, but yeah, I did feel more emotion.
Dead than this guy.
I was pissed, but yeah,
I
I felt more emotion, yeah.
over a picture on a computer screen, just telling us that a character or somebody is dead.
Yeah. I forget, how did she get infected? I completely forgot that now.
He made love to her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's right. See, I completely forgot that.
A lot of this movie is forgettable too, at least to me.
To me, too. It's just, you know, Ridley Scott back in the realm of doing a sci-fi film. I love Alien. Blade Runner. Yeah. I like Blade Runner.
You look at Blade Runner, it's visually impressive, but also it's a good story, and it's got good characters.
I like Deckard.
Yeah.
You know, I like Rutger Hauer is fantastic. His speech alone is better than anything in this movie.
That's like a little girl, I guess. Like,
who?
Naomi Rapace. It's like a little girl.
Oh yeah, this is the scene where she finds out that she is pregnant, but there's no way, and she's freaked out.
I just don't believe any of her acting when she's figuring out stuff or thinking like, oh my God, whoa, wait, not believable. At least to me. And how can anybody think that David performed? I mean, if you think it's amazing, fine, to each your own. But he's just an emotionless robot, just saying lines. Reminded me of Ian Holm from Alien.
Yeah, that was once again, it's a lot of this is like trying to do the same stuff as Alien. You had an android that is doing things that aren't the most trustworthy, kind of a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have a person getting their face, might as well be a face hugger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it ends with the lone female. But it was done better in Alien.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's kind of, you know.
It was done better in Alien ripoffs.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Creature.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it better than Seminoid?
I don't know.
That's a tall order, I guess.
Yeah.
And Seminoid is like one of those words you just throw out and it's a tall order.
Yeah. I kind of sort of enjoyed it up until the ridiculous ending. Which is just about as dumb as the stuff in this film.
But it's like, again, like, the David character, like...
Then this scene, she wakes her up, and I think this is when she, like, flips out.
Yeah. She flips out, beats everybody up. I guess maybe she thinks they're going to take her back like that, or take her back to Earth in that condition, I
Right?
guess.
Like there was nothing that was said that would make me think that there was a reason for her to do that. They're just gonna put her in cryo sleep.
Hmm. Okay, this is where you get the med pod where it says it's only for men.
Unless if the robot guy said I missed it, he said like you will die or whatever or the cryo. I don't know. This
Now,
makes no sense.
I know the whole bid deal I mentioned before and in other videos is the fact that this is only meant for men. And yes, I know it was meant for Wayland. I knew that all along, but to me it's like you put that in there for nothing. It doesn't add anything.
No,
And I still don't think there's that bit of a reason for Wayland to hide. It
there
like
is. I think there is no reason for him to hide.
it didn't add any mystery. It's not like it's oh my God, it's just so earth-shattering. It's
No.
like, oh, there's an old man Wayland.
And pay attention to how many painkillers she injects herself with, and then see
Well, it's
how
future painkillers.
I guess.
It's
Wouldn't
painkillers
they
in the
be,
future.
wouldn't they be even more powerful? They're
Well,
painkillers from
someone mentioned one time, if you really think about the body, other than your nether regions and your breasts, there's not that tremendous difference.
it really isn't, but
Like if it's a leg or an arm, or something, but
yeah.
so the fat is only for men only, but whatever. It's just that was put in there for nothing. But this is just more dumber. I mean, this is besides that,
It's
this is just
the claw. It's like,
what was that?
it's like the claw,
It's
when you
just
put the quarter and you pick up a stuffed animal. I
when
don't know.
I first saw this, folks, I was laughing. It wasn't horrifying. Be like, oh, why would you laugh at this? Because it's so ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I mean, this thing's gonna pull this big squid-like
Look, it's
creature out of her stomach, and I think she literally like tears the
they cut open her stomach,
yeah, they're pulling out this squid-like thing. Well,
which isn't
the
scary.
squid-like thing's inside it,
Oh wow, good practical effect.
and then yeah, she just tears it off like it's nothing. Like
There's the umbilical cord.
what? You just tear this umbilical cord out and then just staples her damn stomach. I mean, I understand it's the future. They have future technology. It looks silly. Just staples her stomach shut.
Just makes me. I just have I have a overwhelming need for calamari right now. I like calamari. I'm actually kind of hungry. So
And I know she
calamari
stumbles a little bit, but then later on you'll see her running, jumping pretty decently.
right now. She's still running around.
And it's like,
Does it? And then does it kill it? Like she just.
no,
Ugh.
because that becomes the giant 300-pound facehugger.
That's so stupid.
You know, someone, uh, there's this website called Down in Front. They mentioned, what if during this scene, right? What if that
Hmm.
thing went outside and she was trapped in there, like, in order to heal? And, you know, here she is trapped in that little cubicle, but yet there's
Yeah.
this thing outside that's willing to kill her. And
Yeah.
it's like a time where she needs this amount of time.
Yeah.
Like if it was like, instead of staples, there was something that patched up her skin or her
Like
DNA.
blue. Like kind of like the invisible bandages.
Yeah, something
You know,
like that. Or
so leaves no scars. So it's like some kind of
something
glue or
like
paint.
that, but advanced sort, so it's not staples.
It like takes a while to dry
Yeah, and
or to
it's like the clot's going down, and then
dry
by the
and use
time
immune.
by the time it opens, she's got to
This
get out
scene,
there.
I this is like the only exciting, somewhat remotely exciting sort of
Oh yeah,
sequence.
the zombie. Which, by the way, this
There's all,
guy was so stupid to just go up and touch,
yeah.
and she gets killed, of course. Granted,
But the
bloody.
whole It's not like that though. If it was wall to wall, zombie chasing, shooting, running, driving around, running around, the whole movie isn't like that. And this sequence with the zombie only lasts like maybe a minute or two.
Of course,
I mean, this is it. I like the shooting. I like the flamethrowers. I like the action. The choreography is good. I'm like, at this moment, I'm genuinely like, oh, cool. Some
something's
action.
happening.
Something is happening.
There's something actually happening in the movie.
What's going on?
But it's like, okay, it, turns him
Instead of
into a
just
zombie type creature.
around looking at something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to admit, if the whole movie was more like this, that scene that just finished.
Yeah. I guess. But wait, what about the other guy that has something inside him? Did
Yeah.
he not get nothing happen to him?
Yes, I don't know. He just died.
Just that thing spit out of his mouth, and what happened to that?
Oh.
That just like this is the thing. That guy got something in his mouth, and nothing happened to him.
Ignorance that she injected herself with. She should be passing out now. Like, just,
Yeah, I know.
oh,
And then it's just,
what?
sorry, there's just so many things.
Future painkillers.
There's just so many things going on.
I
It's
don't
like,
care for the future. Like 6 or 7 painkillers, shots. You wouldn't be able to listen to anything.
hmm
Sleep. Or dead.
this is this is the unveiling of Wayland, which to me is like again nothing
Climactic
to
and
it,
thing. Oh, look at his old ugly feet. Yay, right?
and bad makeup.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying before, I forget what I was saying before. But just
My brain hurts just watching this film right now. I'm just like, my brain cells are starting to fall asleep. That's even possible.
well, like I was saying before about the issues with the film, it's bringing all these ideas around.
Were you talking about Waylon? Like why it was such a surprise that he's
But it's not much
fighting?
of a surprise, and it's just okay. Here's a guy who wants immortality, and all this hiding around like on the med pod that it was meant for a man only. Okay, you put it in there, but it doesn't amount to anything because you
And then
just
she
see him in like a
some
couple minutes
here,
later.
getting mad, saying we must get out of here. We must leave.
Oh yeah, this character is kind of doing something like the only thing common sense, but then she's like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like not forced at gunpoint, not made to do it. It's like, yeah, I will willingly go back in there. Sure.
I mean, especially after she's all like, I,
She just had an alien out of her
you
stomach.
know, blah, 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 and then it's like, I'll do it.
No, it's like she just had an alien in her stomach. And it's like, you know what, okay, I'll go back in. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it
At
doesn't
common
really.
sense level, if I had an alien out of my stomach, I would not go right back
You know what this bit of score
into
reminds
it.
me of? It reminds me of the little bit of score in Turtles, the first movie, the first Turtles film. Da, 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 da. It was like the sort of emotional sort of theme that you heard like in the fire scene with the fire
No,
a little bit. I know, I
not to
just
me. But all the issues I was talking about before, like, her getting her damn stomach stapled and just this guy being a zombie and this guy
yeah.
walking up and touching it. And
Pay attention to how much pain she's in right now, and then see how much pain she's in later. This is good here, right? This is Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba in this scene, to me, this is why he's the character I could probably deal with the most, maybe,
Yeah, same here.
is this scene with Idris Elba. Who's like, it's time for us to go home.
Yeah,
He's like saying stuff that we would say.
I was cheering for him a little when he said this line coming up next.
The I don't care line.
I don't care. Yeah,
And he's like, yeah, all I do is fly the ship and that's it. And that's why I would like to, if by surprise, she gets killed and he's the one who's left standing to deal with this. Like, he didn't want to get involved. He didn't believe in this mission. But
yeah,
now he has to be faced to deal with this.
yeah,
And it'd be different from Alien. It'd be like, okay, you think it's going to be a female,
yeah,
and no, it's now a male who's the lead.
yeah.
It'd be a reverse of the first Alien film.
He just wants to go home
Yeah, he just
with
wants to go home. And to
be with.
me, that's the character I root for the most, so he should be
Yeah,
the one that's the last man standing. It's like, it shows the audience, yes, he's the one who had it right all around.
yeah. I mean, Rip
The answers
from
are not meant for us to find,
yeah,
not meant for us to see. You know, be content with your own life,
yeah.
with your
That'd
own
be like with Aliens.
experience.
The Aliens, Ripley was more like a supporting character, and she had a few moments, but then it was some other chick that was the lead,
Hmm.
and Ripley doesn't do anything, but she has some moments where she's
What are you
acting like
talking
it.
about?
I think if it was like that, trying to think of Prometheus and like the whole thing with Idris Elba, it'd be like an Aliens if Ripley was just a supporting character, and she was,
In a way, she was, in a way, for a little
yeah,
bit, until
a
Dallas
little,
died.
but she had some badass moments, and she eventually was the one that had to take care of, get it done, you know. What if she was a supporting character like Idris Elba and was the only one that had any sense? I don't know. This movie's screwing my brain.
Well, to me, I don't know if I still like it, but it'd be much more interesting if, like, Idris Elba,
Yeah.
his character, to me, that scene was the one scene actor to say uh, there was actually a human
And
being acting
yeah,
like,
like anybody,
like,
yeah.
like we would, or
Gold.
thinking like we would,
Yeah.
like reasonably.
I don't care.
Idris Elba's like, I don't care. I just want to go home. He
Like
should
how does
have.
how does this affect us? Like what? We let's find the answers.
Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't
At the risk
matter.
of death? At the risk of, dying to find out how I came to be, like how I don't really care how I came to be. As far as I know, I just, came from a, sperm
I mean, I
and an
guess inadvertently she finds out their plan, and thus they crash the
yeah,
ship and saved Earth, I guess. But to me, that
yeah,
just depresses me more because it's like, this bubble-headed idiot was right. Like, well, not right,
yeah.
but I don't, I don't like this character. I don't.
Well, Idris Elba's words, that he says, "I don't care," probably sum up this film for me. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't care for this film.
I mean, it's just one of those things that is just,
I'm trying my best to think intelligently about this film, and
it's failing.
it doesn't have anything to really for me to think about. It's stuff, just stupid stuff that makes me mad, but not anything really thought-provoking. Oh, the meaning of life. Well, that's been done a million times before, so
Well, Normie Rapace is walking all right so far,
yeah.
considering.
And, yeah, considering what happened and all the painkillers she injected herself with.
And then Idris Elba has like these two guys working for him that we don't know anything about. Like,
Yeah. This the Asian guy. Huh?
there's an Asian guy, and then there's another guy. There's the friend of the Asian guy, and that's all we know because they still don't know their names of
No.
the characters.
Nope.
It, I don't. This. I'm sorry,
Whole
folks. It's just no interest for me in this movie. There's nothing pulling me in.
Prometheus is an aesthetically pleasing film, but it is not an entertaining film.
No, no, not an entertaining film at all. It's hard. There's some quiet moments because it's hard to talk about this film because
Yeah.
there's, to me, there's not much to it other than it looks pretty.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Do you think there was any way this film could be rescued?
Better writing, better pacing.
Do you think they should have done a prequel in the first place?
I don't think you should have run a prequel in the first place, to be honest. Unless you're going to talk about right from the bat about where the Xenomorphs came from,
Well,
how they got to
apparently this is in a way where the Xenomorphs came from, I guess. Created, I guess, in a way.
lame. Figure out the facehuggers came
In a way.
started out as a giant facehugger. That's doesn't make any sense. First of all, I love how this black oil does random things. Like it does whatever it wants to. One point it'll do this to something. Another point it'll do that.
I mean, like
It does whatever.
it turns one into goo, but then the other
Bane.
turns into a zombie.
I know where Christopher Nolan got his idea for Bane now. That's Bane.
Well, no, these were made at the same time, so.
I just
And then we have like some of these other people who we don't know anything about. Old Man Wayland. It's just this whole thing of, oh, this old guy wants immortality. It just really you don't throw that into it.
seen that a million times too. Remember Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade?
Yeah.
We had that immortality thing too. It was another old guy. That film's entertaining.
And then like this is really all it adds up to, them talking to a big albino guy
It's an
and him tearing this guy's head off. That's all it
yeah.
amounts to? There's nothing to it. It's like they're so smart and sophisticated, yet, okay, I'm just gonna be violent and beat everybody up.
Yeah.
And very like whatever scene.
Like I guess.
Like what?
He didn't like what he said.
Yeah, some people say it might be like, you know, he's upset that they created something. It's like
What is it? Wanna fuck you? Did he say fuck you? Ugh.
it's like look at this thing you created. No, I'm the creator. Or maybe I don't know. This doesn't really amount to anything, really.
I keep saying it's a soulless film. It just doesn't feel there's a lot of life or spirit to it or emotion. Motionless, just about as emotionless and cold as the robot. And maybe that's the point. Maybe it's supposed to be. If it is, then don't care for it.
Yeah, I've sort of just ran out of anything to talk about, really, about this movie because it just
It's not the great. It's just there's not much to talk about except ooh, look at the pretty visuals. Yeah.
and the dumb script and the well,
And there's the jockey thing. Oh, that's what that is. The chair.
which I'm like, really, that's what it is. Like,
It's just a cannon.
well, it's like sort of the pilot seat.
Pilot seat. Well, he's called space jockey, so it's a pilot.
I mean, it's just this is telling a story that I don't think needs to be told. That doesn't do
No.
anything. Doesn't amount to anything. That doesn't.
As a film, like I usually use this as something a term I use. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's something that I use for judging a film is it's got to be something I would watch over and over again for me to consider a really good movie. And this isn't one of those movies that I'd watch multiple times over and over. If I want to look at the visuals, I could just look at screenshots of this film. There
Yeah.
you go.
It's just, here's
I
another
have no.
thing is Nima Rapace, like, there she is running and she's going to be jumping and she's doing pretty all right considering
She's
she had
fine.
her stomach stapled and
Yep.
painkillers and an alien right out of her stomach and
Directly
maybe,
after I buy the car, buy a car. I would just keep running around and jumping, but nothing ever happened.
and she's like running and jumping like further and further gaps.
I just stopped really questioning the stupidity of this film because it's just like it's just stupid, unabashedly dumb. Like it thinks that the viewer is just going to look at the visuals and the clever bits that it few clever bits that it has and just gloss over the really dumb things about it.
And yeah, so I try and build up this big thing where, Idris Elba, he's not going to think of himself. He's going to make this noble sacrifice. It's not handled that well. It's handled in a dumb way. Like, can't they get in escape pods and get out? Like, can't they put a trajectory, I guess, to the ship? Or,
If they explain it so he can't escape, then it should have been like somebody launched escape pods, Wayland launched escape pods so nobody could escape or something, or the escape pods aren't working. Then all right, you
right.
know?
I mean, it's a big ship. It's not like it's going to miss.
Yeah.
It's the two random guys we don't know about, and Idris Elba going to smash into the ship, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Um,
Like, oh, all right.
she's gonna get in her suit.
Yeah, Charlize Theron is pretty much going to escape just to die.
Yeah.
Which then is like, she just escapes to die. Like, there's even no
And died
point for her escaping.
rather stupidly too.
Yeah. And I don't want Idris Elba to die because I don't want to be left with Nimi Rapace.
Yeah.
Because I do not like her character. I think she's just a dumb character.
Yeah. We're just left with Naomi Rapace and the robot. Hey.
She's just a dumb character. Nothing, every decision she makes is just I don't care about. I don't care about her point of view, her mentality, her...
I guess maybe it's because you're not religious. I don't know.
I think I'm religious enough.
I
I don't think it
yeah
has anything to do with that. It's just
yeah
she's like one of those idiots who thought we were going to end of the world would be 2012.
yeah.
She has like this blind, like,
I think it's just ambition, a blind ambition, or
in a way, yeah. Yeah, then they make their noble sacrifice, and I'm like, they could have had enough time to get in escape pods,
what?
get out of there.
Noble sacrifice is all for naught because the engineer that survives.
Well, it's
Yeah,
to the stuff he was carrying, I guess.
yeah, I know. But you find out later on that there are more ships
Yeah,
and that there's more of this stuff.
yeah.
There's more engineers
Which I guess,
somewhere.
by the time of Aliens, then I guess nothing came of it.
Right?
Huh?
We'd already be fucked then if that's the case.
Yeah. And I still say you could just run to the left or right and run. They don't have to
He,
keep
def-
running in a straight line.
he definitely could have.
But they decide, no, you gotta run in a straight line, this very narrow path, which the ship is just rolling
Well, they're
towards you.
saying debris falling, and they don't want to. I
Well,
guess.
you could turn right and still dodge debris like you're going straight, and you're dodging debris. Like she just
Yeah,
rolled away with newer
hurt.
pace.
Hurt. She is so hurt.
And then Newer
Roll
Charlize Theron gets
stomach.
crushed, and it's really like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. That's what I mean. It's like, okay, I guess
Like I say,
she
this
escaped
film
just to die.
this film is much ado about nothing.
She escaped the ship just to die in a really silly way.
And just how quickly she's moving and
I just really hate the fact that she's the one who survives. Just all the stupid stuff she did, she should have been one of the first to die.
this too.
Hmm?
All this thing does falling on her just cracks her helmet a little bit.
Yeah, whatever.
Just happened to fall on a rock.
Sorry, folks. I just silent because
It,
I just
it's understandable. I haven't said that much either. It's there's not much to say. The film itself is just eye candy.
there's a lot of movies that are eye candy.
Yeah.
A lot of movies. Tons of movies that come out every
I
year.
prefer the eye candy movies though, really.
Hmm?
I don't usually prefer movies that are just eye candy. I want a story. I want characters I like. I want to be entertaining. I think Tron Legacy is better film than this, but Tron Legacy is an example of an eye candy film.
Yeah.
But at least Tron Legacy had, I liked Garrett Hedlund. I don't like anybody in this.
Yeah, that film, yeah. Well, eh, I don't know where this ass came from, by the way. I don't know where. She just has ass that comes out of nowhere. I don't know why they have an ass or whatever.
She does nothing with it, so
Yeah, really, it's this big finale that's really anticlimactic. It's like, okay, it's 101 hide and seek. It really amounts to nothing. Just David magically knows that it's coming after her somehow.
it's empty just like the film.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And why is the axe bent like that? What is the purpose of it bent like that? Like, what kind of purpose is that going to serve? You is the future axe?
Because
So
it's special.
don't just make it ineffective and hard to wield.
It's different because it feels special.
Like this movie. This movie feels it's so special.
I guess that's the same room where her little baby is now the 300-pound
Grown up.
face hugger.
There are some practical effects in this, and I gotta give it props for that. The production design is good, but like it's just another example of the visuals.
And how does David know this? I have no idea that he knows that it's coming after her. Like, how would he know? How would the android David know that this engineer's coming after her?
He's psychic.
And all it is he pushes her, she screams, pushes
Yeah.
something that could have been, hell, it could have been an accident, who knows? And then
This
the engineer gets killed by pretty much CGI face,
giant face hugger.
giant face hugger. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some practical, but I don't know.
I think there is some practical with the tentacles.
All right. But it's like, okay, that's it, pretty much. Like, I know that
That's where the face hugger came from. Is this?
lame, just lame, lame, lame. Why is it lame? Because it's like this. The story didn't.
Marvel ruining the mystique. The face hugger is just came from this thing. Generic giant monster. I admit that the look of it isn't that bad, but just this is how the xenomorphs came to be, and that's just
In a way,
uninteresting.
it is uninteresting. This whole movie's uninteresting. Just
It doesn't involve you as a viewer, as an audience member. You don't get invested in the film because you're not invested in the characters. I'm sorry, I care about characters in the film. I am not just like, oh, look at the pretty colors.
and this is a stupid character that learns nothing.
Yeah.
She just has this blind faith. I want this. I'm gonna say stupid shit, and then at the end, she's like, "No, I want to keep going. I want to find them." So
At what cost? You know,
I don't.
what is she gonna be like it is in the second film? She's gonna cause the planet or whatever to be infested with xenomorphs or whatever, and then some shit. I don't really know.
Yeah, wait for Prometheus too.
Questions that are asked in this film that aren't answered. Honestly, I don't care about the questions in the first place.
That's why I mean the questions are not that interesting. They're not that intriguing to me at all. You have a film that's not fun or entertaining or scary or tries dramatic, but I think it fails.
So empty. So empty.
And yet she learns nothing. Then she's like, I'm going to keep going. I will need to find because I want answers. And I'm like, so what? Who cares about the answers?
There's been a lot of people who don't know the answer to this question.
Just the answer is not that interesting. Why do they want to kill us? Because you're stupid.
Because they
That's
don't
why.
like us. I don't know. They think we're obsolete. I have no...
Like, it's not going to result in anything. What's she going to do by herself? Use harsh language? Sharp sticks? I mean, she has this thing where she puts on the cross is like, yeah, I still believe, but you don't understand because you're not human.
Oh, that line delivery,
And it's like, I'm human. I don't even understand you, lady. It's like, find Earth and tell what has happened. What's going on?
so then we can have more spaceships come here and or nuke the place from orbit, right? So then we don't have to worry
It's the
about
only way to be sure.
this crap, right?
Yeah, nuke the place from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Exactly.
It is. She don't go out there by herself yet. Like, this really worked out with all the people she had. And she's ineffectual. She's not strong. She's not intelligent. So, oh, they changed their mind, and I want to know
She's
why.
not even that. She's not even a scientist.
She,
She was just a theological expert they brought on board for some reason.
no, it doesn't matter that they changed their minds.
I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't.
Yeah, she's like, that's because I'm a human being, and you're a robot. It's like,
Robot. I laughed my ass off at that scene and I saw it in the theater. I was like, oh my.
he's more human than you, lady.
What kind, who would...
He's more human than you, lady. I'm sorry. I just, horrible, horrible lead character. Just a stupid, delusional,
blind...
crazy,
Yeah.
one-sided.
It's a commentary on religion, how people are so...
Well, those are the people you don't trust. I'm sorry.
God,
And then,
God. Then you have this, which is obvious homage to Ripley at the end of...
yeah, leaving a transmission for who? Who's going to find this transmission? Again, who's going to find this transmission?
We have our Lord.
Last survivor of the Prometheus, yeah, just like last
Last
survivor of
survivor
the
of
Nostromo. That's what I mean. It wants to take elements from Alien, and then it wants to. Thank God it's over. I really am. It'll be the last time I ever see this movie. Oh wait,
Hey,
okay,
man.
of course.
Oh, God.
I almost
I forgot about
forgot. How could I forget the last scene where this creature that's somewhat xenomorph, somewhat different.
Let's ruin the mystique of the xenomorph while we're at it.
It just
Well, for the face suckers. Let's do it for the xenomorph.
You know, I think I read somewhere that someone was like, I was watching this movie, I was getting into it, but then all of a sudden, how come an alien from Aliens popped out at the end? Like
It looks like
they
the
didn't.
rival mated with the alien from Independence Day.
No, it's just like they watched this film without realizing it was connected to aliens.
What the heck was that thing?
Yeah, it looks terrible, terrible design, some CGI enhancement. It looks terrible. It looks, and then it has this music at the end, like it's this. I'll say right now, like it thinks it's The Shining. And I think The Shining has more sophistication in this movie.
Arty movie. Hey, I'm not the biggest fan of The Shining, and I could without a doubt say that I like The Shining more than this.
That's the thing. This film wants to think it's sophisticated and
Oh,
it's this Oscar-worthy movie, but then it's dumber than the quote trashy B movies of the '80s, which I think are much better and much more
exactly.
entertaining and have
That's an
honestly.
insult to Daniel Bannon based on elements created by Dead. Because basically what Ridley Scott did is he just took things that Dan O'Bannon wrote and came up with for Alien and just, oh, I'll just explain it. Like the facehugger came from a giant facehugger that came from this black ooze, and then the alien, oh, that came from this shitty looking blue thing.
Yeah, it just it's this film is just not appealing to me at all. It doesn't add anything to the original. In fact, I think it takes away from the original Alien.
It takes away from the original Alien.
Because you'll see the space jockey, and instead of leaving it to your own device, your own matter of thinking, your own matter of what you want to believe, what I choose to believe, if I'm supposed to believe this fucking lady, then I can believe the space jockey is anything. But now, no, it's a albino, big, tall, idiot-looking thing who is supposed to be so sophisticated and smart and holier than thou, but then just randomly wants to punch things' heads
Well,
off. And
somewhere in the script, original script, it isn't like there's the engineers are pissed off at us humans because we killed one of their own, and the one of their own was Jesus.
oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, that apparently Jesus was like an engineer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just
I
stupid.
don't know if they filmed that scene, but
As a movie by itself, that's ridiculous. And then even as and then more so as part of the Alien films, it's stupid.
yeah.
It doesn't need to be involved. I mean, people will say, well, there's not much more you could do because you had AVP, you had AVPR. Then don't.
AVP correctly. Like it's supposed to, like, follow the Dark Horse comics. You can do other alien stories. Read the Dark Horse comics, like Earth Hive or a genocide, or there's one, I forgot what it was called, but there's one with half human, half alien hybrids. There's stuff that you can do with the Alien
Or
franchise, but
honestly, if it's going to be shit like this, leave it alone.
yeah.
Like this film didn't need to be made. Honestly, if this is how it's going to turn out, leave it alone because you're not doing it any better. You're doing it worse, in my opinion.
I think the Alien franchise has been fucked with enough as it is. You had Alien 3, which tried to be artsy, tried to be thought-provoking, tried to be,
Ballsy, nihilistic,
yeah, and
and
fell flat in space, in my opinion.
in my opinion as well.
And then Alien Resurrection is just a mess. Makes no sense at all in terms of a plot. And it's also visually pleasing at times.
I don't think
Just like,
so. I think Alien
that's
Resurrection looks like shit.
at times. I meant at
I
times.
don't. I don't even think that. You
I
know
thought
it.
I thought the shots in space were kind of cool. And
I did. I thought it
but
looked cheap, especially
but
that's okay.
well, I know it looked like shit. Yeah, it's totally understandable.
I thought it looked
Uh,
cheap for a $70 million movie.
then you have the I don't like it's more entertaining than this. I wasn't bored by AVP.
Yeah.
You can do better with Alien. You could do much better. You have the xenomorphs. It doesn't have to
But at
involve
least
Ripley.
AVP and AVPR, at least people know they're bad.
It doesn't have to involve a Ripley-like character either, like in this film.
This is not even a Ripley-like character. This is like a Dunce-like character.
Yeah,
It's like a,
trying to be Ripley though.
but it's like the daughter of a hippie that's, is also an idiot though.
Yeah.
She's a daughter of a, it's like, yeah, the daughter of a hippie. So it's like Dharma from Dharma and Grade or something, but dumber by 100 times. It just, the characters suck.
What bugs me the most about this film is that it tries to be so
It
smart.
thinks it's so smart.
It thinks it is so intelligent, but reality is just
Sophisticated.
dumber than a box of rocks.
It thinks it's like Stanley Kubrick, but it's like that's what it is. Like Ridley Scott thinks he's like Stanley Kubrick in this very sophisticated matter of telling a story, and that this is such a like again, I mentioned The Shining. Like I don't think The Shining is a dumb movie. I think it's less smarter than this movie. Like this is like trying to be sophisticated horror sci-fi, like 2001: A Space Odyssey, another Kubrick film.
Yeah.
But I've seen 80s creature feature flicks that have better characters, better.
Preacher. Preacher had a dumb ending, I got lost, but
Yeah, or at least they knew what they were. They weren't
yeah.
pretentious in thinking they were trying to be like Kubrick or trying to be like some Oscar-worthy, sophisticated genius level. Well, it's not. It's the total opposite. And it makes it laughable
Yeah.
and silly and boring and tedious and overhyped.
It would be like in 2000, if like 2001: A Space Odyssey all of a sudden became like a dumb horror film in the middle, and Hal was like killing people off or something, like in slasher film ways.
Uh,
It's just, the film is just it's trying to be so intelligent, so smart, so thought provoking, and it starts out that way. It doesn't even start out remotely even thinking that the movie's going to be as dumb as it ends up being. That's what's so frustrating. I actually genuinely sort of like the opening of the film. It's
I don't.
different. It looks good. I know.
I don't even
It's hard.
like that.
I know, but
Yeah,
it got me interested
yeah.
into what's going on.
What's going?
What is on this planet? What are they going to find?
Not a whole lot.
When they get on the planet, they don't find very much. And then as soon as that guy the guy just takes off his helmet, and then everyone else follows suit, then it just spirals into stupidity and never recovers. At least me, I just thought it crashed and burned as soon as they landed on the planet.
I,
Because as soon as you have dumb stuff like guy taking his helmet off, and then you have the snake scene, and you have all that.
I think it crashed and burned by the time I saw what a space jockey looked like. For
Yeah,
me, it's like, that's what it looks like? Really? That's the best you come up with as a
yeah.
design?
That those were the space jockeys in the beginning. If you saw it without,
Yeah, but I think a lot of people out there who went into this film knew that it took place before Alien. And if you're a fan of Alien, you have watched the documentaries. And the number one thing they always talked about was, we want to see Ridley Scott talk about the space jockeys. I was like, what all those people wanted the future of Alien to be. Oh, this is what they wanted.
is that what I want? I don't want some boring, pretentious, laughable, pretty to look at, but ultimately forgettable film. I would have loved to seen something else, something more like Aliens. That's just my type of film, I guess. I like
It,
also.
it's my type of film too. Or a film like Alien that, Ridley Scott's saying in interviews saying I'm going to scare the hell out of you. I'm like, really?
Scare
How?
me? Oh, one iota, not one bit.
What parts are meant to be scary?
I was too busy falling asleep to be scared.
I'm seriously asking folks out there, what parts are meant to be scary? What parts are meant to be creepy? What parts are meant to be atmospheric? What parts are meant to be bad script, unlikable characters, and a story to me that goes nowhere, adds nothing to the table, leads to nowhere, accomplishes nothing, and all it does, the only thing it accomplishes is it looks pretty and it hurts Alien in the fact that now you see space jockeys and that's what they look like. That's the only two
Mm.
things it did. It looked pretty and it hurt Alien. And that is shitty. That's
Yeah,
the best word is shitty. So I don't know what else to say. But
I don't know.
I think this movie sucks.
I agree with every word he said. I don't understand the praise for it. I don't know how any critic in their own right mind could say this is the perfect film.
I mean, that's their opinion. I'm
Opinion,
not going
but
to
just
down anyone for their opinion. I
can't
don't agree with it. I don't get it.
anybody either. I
I'll
just
say I don't get it.
don't understand.
You know, people want to go, well, you don't know smart movies. I didn't watch Shawshank Redemption. I didn't watch 127 Hours. I didn't watch Drive with Ryan Gosling. I didn't watch Stanley Kubrick films, Michael Mann's Heat. I didn't name a dozen of other films.
It doesn't want Space Odyssey.
Chosen was
This film
Space
was
Odyssey.
trying to be huge, but I mean, it fails miserably.
I didn't watch Moon with Sam Rockwell. I didn't see a lot of better science fiction movies. I see a lot of better horror movies. This fails as a horror movie. It fails as a sci-fi movie.
Why was it trying to be a horror film? I mean, that's the whole. I mean, it doesn't have a right balance. It doesn't ever figure out what film it wants to be. It starts out very artsy, very sophisticated. That's what frustrates me the most, is because it just never figures out what film it wants to be. And it starts out, like I said, artsy and sophisticated, and then it goes
So you think
and
this should have just
it's like,
gone on one or the other?
yeah, just pick
If you don't make a
one,
horror film, just make a horror film from
yeah,
beginning to end. Just a down and dirty horror film.
down and dirty, fun horror film with, people getting infected by the ooze and attacking people and shooting them and with flamethrowers or whatever, or,
If you don't try to make
you
a
know,
sophisticated sci-fi film, work on your script, work on your
mhm.
actors.
Don't have stupid scenes of people acting like dumbasses. Like, oh, there's an alien worm that's hissing at me. Oh, aren't you cute?
And this,
That doesn't,
yeah, and
in that film,
this easily could have just not been part of the
I'd be
alien
so,
mythos.
yeah. And I might not have been so pissed off at it if it wasn't part of the alien mythos. If it was, I might just be like, oh, whatever. It was
I
good
probably
vision,
still hate it as a film itself. It just,
bad movie, but I wouldn't have such a intense hate, kind of hatred for it because of what it does to Alien.
yeah, I mean, that's
Really,
like,
I just consider it as another forgettable movie that, looks good, but has a really bad script. And I've seen a lot of movies like
it
that,
ruins the
so
mystery.
yeah.
And that's what it seems like that's like the new thing today. Let's ruin the mystery. Rob Zombie's Halloween, the Thing prequel, this movie. It's like there's no.
Is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D gonna ruin some more of other faces? I mean, the beginning already kind of,
Well, yeah, prequel to the remake.
yeah.
But
I don't,
we don't
I don't.
always. We don't need everything spoon-fed. And believe me, we're not confused by this film because we want to be spoon-fed. It's where you stop giving a fuck and you realize the script is not doing its job. I don't need to do the job for the script. I don't need to do the script's job of trying to find likable characters, trying to find logical reasoning. Otherwise, I should just make it myself, if that's really what I should be doing.
We should write the script ourselves, if that's the case.
But, you know,
That's just
if
making
you're paying money,
bad writing. It's just making an excuse for bad writing. Just be like, oh, whatever. You're supposed to come up with your own conclusions. So I could just write a random script that a bunch of questions are asked, and the plot really doesn't make much of any sense whatsoever. The tone is off and on,
and the script
and I
is
just
dumb people.
and then
Dumb people doing
that's it.
dumb things.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh, that's so great. I've seen movies like this that have had this type of problem: bad script, bad tone, off and on, all this kind of stuff, and they don't get praise. majority of the time.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're not condemning people who give it praise. It's just we did
I
this
don't understand.
commentary because it's like we're trying to understand it. And when we say understand, we don't mean understand the intricate plot points. We're talking about understand why should we give a fuck about this movie?
Yeah,
Really, bottom line.
why is it a great film? Why is it considered one of the best films of the year? And we're not alone here. Go look at all these other reviews. Look at internet reviews. Look at Cinema Blend. This film is on the list of the top 10 most disappointing films of the year.
It's
Is
just
that so?
it's
A lot of people were disappointed by this movie.
and we think it. Bottom line, it sucks. It sucks as a horror movie. It sucks as a sci-fi movie. It sucks as a movie with any
Yeah,
reasonable
it's like a
thinking.
short film.
It's such that people with common sense. I'm talking about the characters in the movie having any common sense, except Idris Elba in like maybe one scene. It,
And Charlize Theron in one scene, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's it. It just again when I can the reason I chose to do this commentary and my friend Mike was nice enough to join with me. I thank you for that.
appreciate it. I
It,
try to do my best. It's
you did
kind of
fine.
hard.
It's just we just wanted to talk about the film and just talk about why we don't like it, why we didn't enjoy it, why we happen to not like it. And if there's people who enjoy the film, you do feel free to do your own and feel
I
free.
have a problem with that. It's people who go nuts.
Yeah, people go nuts and like, oh, you're this and you're that, and it's like if you really want to think that, then maybe we're not the ones with the problem. Maybe you're the ones with the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it says more about you if that's how you're gonna react. See, we actually, hey, we talked about it in a pretty reasonable, calm manner. No yelling, no screaming, no ranting. Just talking about the film. And we hope that people enjoyed, and that's it. If you didn't, oh well, nothing we can do. If you did, wonderful. But it's just
That's
us talking
right.
about Prometheus, and want to thank
And
you.
whatever little bit we could think of, because it got pretty tough near the end, because
We got bored, really. That's what it was. We got bored. We got bored with the film because the film didn't do its job.
it's hard for me to be excited about talking about Prometheus. It's because in itself it's not an exciting movie.
It's not a
So
fun movie in any sort, whether it be in a scary movie, whether it be in a thinking man's movie, whether it be in a wondrous awe movie. I think it failed on all notes other than it's very pretty. But
it's visually,
Alien is pretty, but it also
yeah,
works on characters and story and being a horror film.
yeah, it's visually pleasing. And I think there's a movie Southland Tales that's visually pleasing too, but it's not a good movie.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not. But either way, thanks for watching out there. My name is Matt, and I've been joined with.
Mike and
It's just our opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. But we just do not like this movie, and
this movie, just like Idris Alba didn't care about,
I don't care. And I just
or
want
like
to go
Mission
home.
to go home.
So we're gonna go home, and you can go home too. And we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye bye.
See ya.